If you're in the market for an affordable 3-row plug-in hybrid SUV, your choice has pretty much always been the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. But for 2022, the Kia Sorento PHEV is your other option. So how good is it? Well, let's go for a drive and find out. Under the hood, the Kia Sorento PHEV has a turbocharged 1.6-liter engine. This four-cylinder is paired with an electric motor that can produce 90 horsepower and 224 pound-feet of torque. The total system output is 261 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. This powertrain helps the Kia Sorento get to 100 kilometers an hour in about 8.7 seconds, so it's not exactly a fast 3-row SUV. But it doesn't always feel like as though it's struggling. Even in electric mode, it has more than enough power to get you off the line at a reasonable pace without impeding anybody behind you. And either way, sporty driving is not what this SUV is all about. It's about, honestly, being stuck in rush hour traffic. I mean, I know you don't want to be stuck in rush hour traffic, but that's where this car feels most comfortable. In terms of fuel economy, the Kia Sorento PHEV is rated for 3 liters equivalent per 100 kilometers on a combined gasoline-electric cycle. However, if you are driving it during the winter months like how I am right now, reaching that target is a little bit more difficult. Currently, I'm averaging about 3.8 to 4 liters per 100 kilometers. Still not too bad, no doubts there, but it could have been a lot better. See, for my commute, I can actually go to work and back home on a single charge, because it has 51 kilometers of electric-only driving range. It's about 32 miles. It's more than enough for most people's needs. However, if you want to heat up the cabin, then the engine must turn on. Of course, you can just drive with the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, and in that case, the engine will not turn on. But if you need to defog or defrost the windshield, then you do need to use the climate controls, and at which point the engine will turn on. I tried fooling around with a whole bunch of different climate control combinations, so just pointing the air down at my feet or not using the auto climate. None of it works. The engine must turn on in order to provide heat for the cabin. Once it does provide enough heat, then it will turn off, but it will still turn back on periodically just to maintain the set temperature. However, there is at least one small positive. Every time that the engine is running, when it's in electric mode and it's providing heat for the cabin, it's running very efficiently. So it just acts like a generator. It holds the RPMs at 1200 and it's keeping it like that. But other PHEVs do not need the engine to be running in order to provide heat for the cabin. Whereas this one and its sister, the Hyundai Santa Fe PHEV, they both do. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's true during the summer months because obviously it's not summer. So if you are a Kia Sorento or even a Hyundai Santa Fe PHEV owner, let me and others know who might be watching this video in the comments whether or not in the summer times the engine has to turn on in order to provide cooling for the cabin. The 2022 Kia Sorento PHEV has a 13.8 kilowatt-hour battery, which takes approximately 14 hours to recharge from a regular wall outlet. It takes up to 4 hours to recharge from a level 2 charger. That is depending on the charger's capability. As for the driving dynamics of the Kia Sorento PHEV, it's just a regular 3-row SUV. There's nothing really too special about the way it goes around corners or the way that it brakes. Speaking of which, in terms of braking, it does have regenerative braking as you would expect, but it doesn't have different levels of regen braking. All of it is controlled with your foot on the brake pedal. Happily, that brake pedal gives you a nice firm feeling, and there's no really discernible transition between regen braking and using the physical brakes. Also, this engine is paired with a 6-speed automatic, and you can change gears with the paddle shifters if you want. But even when you are in electric mode and you decide to downshift, it still won't give you more regen braking. As for driving around corners, like I said, it's not exactly the most sportiest 3-row SUV out there. That honor still goes to the Mazda CX-9. But it's very easy to maneuver around city streets and parking lots, and like I said, honestly, this is a commuter type of vehicle, and it excels at that. The ride quality of the Kia Sorento PHEV is pretty good. It's not the best out of all of these 3-row SUVs. The Toyota Highlander still has a slightly more supple and plush ride, but it's definitely not quite as firm as the ride in the Mazda CX-9. As for noises, you will hear a little bit of road noise from the tires when you're driving on highways. Granted, this particular demo vehicle is on snow tires because, well, there's snow all around me. And as for the transition between electric driving and the gasoline engine, or vice versa, it is absolutely seamless. Also, the engine is quiet when you're just driving around like a civilized person, but when you put your foot down, yeah, you're really gonna hear it. Now taking a look at the interior of the Kia Sorento PHEV, and it's all very well laid out and very straightforward to use. It does have some materials that I am not a fan of. The biggest one being the gloss black plastic. It's on the center console, on the climate controls, all around the infotainment touchscreen, a little bit on the steering wheel, and a little bit on the door controls. I understand that it looks good when it's nice and clean and it gives the interior a little bit more of a premium feel, but it's going to attract dust and fingerprints and God knows what else. And after a few years or even a few months of owning a vehicle like this with all of this gloss black, it's going to get scratched up and it's just going to look really, really bad. But other than that, like I said earlier, the interior is very easy to use and very straightforward. The only difference between this Kia Sorento and the non-plug-in hybrid Kia Sorento is the gear selector. In this one, it's a rotary knob that is very reminiscent of Genesis products. It works just fine, and I guess every plug-in hybrid has to have some sort of gimmick here and there. As for interior space, 6'4" of me has no issues whatsoever. Legroom, just fine. Headroom, perfectly fine. So with that, let's check out the back. The space in the second row is virtually identical to that of the non-plug-in hybrid version of the Kia Sorento. Tall, 6'4" adults like myself have enough leg and headroom, and the second row seats can recline and move forwards and backwards. You can also get sunshades in the second row as well as the heated seats. But unfortunately, the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid versions of the Kia Sorento are only available with captain's chairs in the second row. Only lower trims of the gasoline Sorento are available with bench seats in the second row. Getting into the third row is very easy thanks to a little button that releases and slides the second row seat forward. But those third row seats are obviously not made for adults. Not much headroom, not much legroom, and not much thigh support. But at least these seats have a tiny bit more space for children than some other similarly sized 3-row SUVs. Also, the Kia Sorento PHEV does not have a traditional 3-zone climate control. Instead, the third row occupants have a simple AC control for those back seats. Behind the seats, the Sorento PHEV has the same cargo capacity as the gasoline version. 357 liters behind the third row, 1,090 liters with the third row folded, and 2,139 liters with the third and second rows folded. To prevent the batteries from taking up cargo or passenger space, the Sorento PHEV has a smaller fuel tank, 47 liters versus 67 liters for the non-PHEV Sorento. The 2022 Kia Sorento PHEV starts at just under $45,000 Canadian for the EX trim. This top spec SX trim costs just under $55,000 Canadian. The Kia Sorento PHEV is eligible for government rebates, so check your local dealership for details. For the $45,000 price of the entry-level PHEV Sorento, it comes quite well equipped with leatherette upholstery, heated seats, heated steering wheel, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration, power liftgate, LED headlights, wireless phone charging, and a comprehensive suite of advanced driver and safety aids. Upgrade to this top SX trim and it'll include a panoramic sunroof, head-up display, a 10.25-inch touchscreen with navigation, surround view cameras, genuine leather upholstery, ventilated front seats, heated second row seats, a full digital driver display, ambient lighting, and a few more advanced safety and driver aids such as blind view monitor and reverse automatic braking. As for the warranty, in Canada it has a 5-year 100,000 kilometer comprehensive and powertrain warranty. The hybrid component warranty is 8 years or 150,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. In the United States, the comprehensive portion of the warranty is 5 years or 60,000 miles, while the powertrain warranty is 10 years or 100,000 miles. In the end, as a 3-row SUV, this new generation of the Kia Sorento is pretty good, but it's not without its faults. It doesn't have a traditional 3-zone climate control. The gloss black plastics are just going to look really bad after a few years. And if you get it with the hybrid or the plug-in hybrid powertrain, then it's only available as a 6-seater, not 7. However, it does have some pretty good stuff about it too. It's really comfortable. It's got a lot of space on the inside for the passengers, and it can be equipped with a lot of technology. Plus, it's pretty reasonably priced. However, as a PHEV, again, it has its faults. The fact that the engine has to turn on to provide heating in the cabin during the winter months kind of defeats the purpose of having a plug-in hybrid, in my opinion. Other PHEVs don't really have this issue. You might as well just go for the regular hybrid version of the Sorento and save yourself some money. But if you don't live in a climate that sees snow during the winter, then this is actually a pretty good 3-row PHEV. If you want to know more about this 2022 Kia Sorento PHEV, I wrote a more detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click the pop-up banner up here. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck or most likely another SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.